This is from Anselm and Solo. It is quite sad, painful, and heartbreaking to see all these priests adding to the pains of people that are mourning their loved ones. My uncle died last April. He was a catechist and served for over 3 decades. While planning his funeral, we were given a list of what the church needs, and we were asked to pick one. We were made to pay all sorts of levies. We had to pay some money to the choir for them to sing during the funeral. Now, this was a man who dedicated his life to the growth of the Catholic Church in the town. Instead of actually supporting the burial, extortion was the case. If they can do that to a catechist, what then is the fate of ordinary church members? So this is from Igbo Yoruba Boy. I was training to be a priest myself. The then priest of my village in Imo State refused to bury my mother because my parents were not based in the East and had not paid all their levies. I could not believe it. Not because the priest had no justification to refuse our request, but because I was wondering what happened to compassion and the norm of the code that says we must bury whoever demands it. We spent 3 hours on our knees. In the end, the priest sent his catechist to conduct the service. So my mother was buried by a catechist. Some priests in the East do not perceive, hence do not understand the spirit behind the code. And this is from Omosomi Broom. My siblings and I went through the same treatment when my father sadly passed away in my hometown of Fuga in February of 2021. The Catholic priests refused to conduct a mass for my father, who had been a staunch Catholic all of the 98 years he lived, simply because we refused to provide their unreasonable demand of a cow. This is from Stankos. The Catholic churches in Eastern Nigeria have been doing this for a very long time without consequences. Many families haven't been able to do the final burial of their loved ones because their family members who died owed or missed membership levies of 15 naira only. What a shame. This is from Rick Opara. My father passed away in April of 2015 in Abuja. The parish in the east, All Saints Church, Oku, Ikeduru, Imo State, billed us a ridiculous amount running into 6 figures. My father was ill for about 6 years before he passed away, and the church was well aware of this, but still they billed us. We paid the fee. On the day of the burial, Mass was slated for 9 or 10 a.m. The priest who had, after collecting the 6-figure bill and still asked for an extra 10,000 naira for fuel, did not show up until 3 hours later. We were standing in the church premises with a casket in an ambulance and no priest for 3 hours. This is from Adeze Iloka. This happened in Nnewi, Anambra State. I lost my father 2 weeks ago. As an Ada and the first child, I'm fully involved in the burial process. My uncles went to the priest in charge of this same church to inform them of the demise of my dear father and to get a date for the burial. The parish priest acted in a distasteful, condescending manner that left me in tears, anger, and hatred for his person. He cared more about my father not paying any current tithe than condoling the family. He didn't even say sorry or express any sort of pity for the dead. He walked out on my uncles and demanded that we go through the catechist. This is from Chidiebere Omumere. Things really have got to change in the Catholic Church in the Southeast. The Catholic priests who preside over the burial of people, particularly in the village, the opportunity is used to torment grieving families perceived to be well off and who are perceived not to have given much materially to the church. Burials are seen as payback time. It clearly defeats the whole essence of Christianity and compassion.
And the last thing I want to say is, for any Catholic in Nigeria who is told that their loved ones will not be buried because they owe money, please go to my website, chimamanda.com, send an email, show me proof of what you've been asked to pay. I will pay for it. I don't think anybody deserves the horrible humiliation and lack of compassion just because a loved one owes some money to the church.